Hey, my name is Nick and I'm going to give you a tour of IQYOU today. So when you look at the dashboard, there's all kinds of great information to help you take control of your health. You can see I've got a health score here, 37 out of 100, which is not great. I've got a toxin score, which is how toxic my body might be. Any diseases or medications that I may have listed, any supplements and herbs that I might be taking. And then IQYOU is going to give me all kinds of recommendations based on my information. I can set goals and I can get a complete system status of all my different systems. You can see neurological is in green, but cardiovascular right now is very low. So let's jump into this thing and figure out why that is. So I'm going to scroll back up here to the top, and you'll notice there's 4 different areas to go through to fill out your profile. There's these main profile questions, which we'll click on right now. And this is the basic stuff: gender, ethnicity, birth date, height, weight, and zip code. Now, why ask zip code? Well, the answer is sort of interesting because we're hooked into the EPA database. So if you live in a place where the air is particularly polluted, that's going to affect your health score. But let's just do an easy one real quick. Let's say if I were to lose some weight and I changed my weight from 200 pounds down to, let's say, how about 160, lost 40 pounds there, and I hit save, you'll see that my health score has jumped from 37, now I'm up to 52 just by losing some of that weight. So let's talk about what are some of the other things that I could do to improve my health score. We'll go ahead and jump into these health questions because that's the first bucket of information that IQYOU is going to use. So you can see here we start with my health, and we're basically going system by system to say, do you have concerns, or have you been diagnosed, or have you experienced any of these things? Now my profile right now shows a yes on heart attack and a yes on stroke. So those are some pretty serious things that would contribute to that lower health score of 52. Again, we're trying to get up to 100 here. Let's say I haven't dealt with a heart attack, but maybe there has been a stroke. Okay, so we just simply go down the list and you answer yes, no to these. If you don't know what any of these things are, for example, what are palpitations, you can simply click on it and you'll see a little bit more information about it. You'll see a general description right here. There's all kinds of reference material which you'll find throughout. This is where we're referencing some of those 40,000 clinical studies that are built into the tool. So you simply go through here. Let's talk about the endocrine system. Diabetes, hypothyroid, Hashimoto's, all these different conditions. And all you got to do is just go through these one by one and answer yes, no. And that's the first big bucket of information that IQYOU is going to use to build your profile. So scrolling back up here to the top, the next would be family history. Do you have anyone in your immediate family who's experienced Alzheimer's disease or breast cancer or colorectal cancer? Any of these things you can answer yes or no to. Then we go into food and diet. We ask questions about how you live your lifestyle. For example, how much sleep do you get? How much stress are you under? Then we go into medications, and this is really important because a lot of pharmaceutical medications have known drug-nutrient interactions, which just means certain medications are known to deplete your body of certain nutrients, and so we need to be aware of those things. This is actually really cool. All you got to do is just come here. You can type in the brand name of whatever you're taking, or if you don't remember the brand, you could just type in something like statin, for example. I could just start typing in statin, and you'll see here all the known statins on the market pop in. I can choose maybe the one that I've been taking, and that pops right in here. I click save, and we're moving on. Now finally, there's this section here called Smart Questions. So let's go into the Smart Questions. What are those? So as we've gone through all these other sections, health, family history, food and diet, lifestyle, medications, the system has asked really general, sort of high-level overview questions. But based on the answers to those questions, these smart questions will automatically populate. So this is sort of the first example of the AI behind the scenes starting to put the pieces together and saying, I need a little bit more information about this or that. So I'll say no to this question, and let's say answer more questions. So after we've answered all the SMART questions, the next thing to do would be to jump into the labs section. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Labs measure your biochemistry, right? It's a marker of how healthy or sick is your body at any given time. Usually this is standard blood work. We have a whole list of markers that you can enter, or if you haven't had any labs done, the system will recommend, you can see for me it's recommending a men's comprehensive wellness panel, and if I open that up, you can see all the different tests that are in that panel. It's very comprehensive. You can get these through your doctor, or you can just go up here and click on Next Steps and click Order and get those right through the site. And if you do it this way, your results will be automatically entered back into the tool for you. And finally, the DNA works much the same way. So if you have 23andMe, you can upload that. We also have our own DNA test for sale, which is going to give you about twice the number of SNPs. And we run those samples in the lab multiple times to ensure their accuracy. So you're going to get a much more comprehensive result with our DNA test. What you get ultimately is a big long list of findings that looks just like these. They're broken up. You can see endocrine system. If I scroll down here we get to detoxification system, inflammatory system, digestive system. Moving on down the list here, we'll get to cardiovascular system. So these are all DNA SNPs that give the system a really good indication of areas that were particularly strong and areas where we might have certain weaknesses to be aware of. Here's where IQYOU really shines. We've gone through the effort to put all this information in here at the top. And now the next thing to do is just come and click on your dashboard, because behind the scenes, the system has been putting together recommendations for us for what to do about our particular situation. So when this loads, you can see my health score right now is at a 52. If I want to get more information, you just click on details here and there's a full write-up about it. It's going to give me a probability of a lot of different conditions, underlying physiological causes that contribute to my health score. So you can see in this case, things like depression, Alzheimer's disease in the family, stroke, fat-soluble vitamin deficiency. These are all the underlying physiological causes that lead to that health score. Let's go back and dig into this, because the most important thing is, sure, to understand where you are today, but also, where do we need to go, right? So let's look at the metabolic score. Okay, my metabolic score is 66, and when I scroll down, you can see here, this is going to refer to health conditions around my cardiovascular system, such as how I handle blood sugar, blood pressure, weight management, lipids in the blood, all these things that are called metabolic issues, and get more information on any of these. There's also a toxin score. If we go back, we can click on our toxin score and see the toxins in our environment, in our food, in our water that are most dangerous to me in this case. And you can go and get more information. So for example, the biggest toxic risks are PCBs for me, followed by bisphenol A, so those are BPAs like in plastic, followed by arsenic, phthalic acids, chlorodyne, and so forth. So never before have we been able to see all these different toxins and how they're impacting your specific body. Finally, we get down here to the IQYOU recommendations, and based on all of the information that we've given the system, here's what it's coming back with are the most important things that we need to do to improve our health. The system gives you the top recommendations here, or you can filter them down to look at things specifically, such as, let's look at nutritional supplementation. So if I click here, it's recommending CoQ10, folic acid, vitamin D. These are specific nutrients that the system is recommending just for me. And if I want to know why, I simply click on why, and let's open this up. So CoQ10 has to do with all these different factors here, elevated lipoproteins, injured heart muscle cells, and you can keep clicking on why to dig deeper. And then right below that is here's all of the clinical research around it based on my specific situation, why coenzyme Q10 might be important. So you can see here there's all these recommendations, And let's say I'm going to go ahead and implement an exercise routine. I click on Next Steps, and I can add that as a goal. Goals are going to show up right below here, and so you can actually track your health goals, measure your progress, and get better over time in all these different areas. Now, one more cool thing I want to show you real quickly is our food section. There's all these diets out there: ketogenic, paleo, low carb, low fat, high fat. Which one is right for you? All these experts are disagreeing with each other. Our contention is that there is no one diet that's best for everyone, but that everybody is different. And so we all have different dietary requirements. What might be right for me may not be right for you, and that's where all this information comes in handy. So for example, if I come down here to food and diet, I can set my recipe preferences. If I know, for example, that I might be allergic to soy and tree nuts, I could also say, you know what, I'm not going to eat any peanuts. And I can also choose a specific meal plan. So if I want to narrow this down to specific diets, I can. All right, so now my preferences have been updated, and you'll see if I scroll down, all these different recipes that I can select. All kinds of good stuff, so you never have to worry about what am I going to eat today or tomorrow? What do I need from the store? What's the right diet for me? Let's just click on one of these and I'll show you. We've got the recipes in here. Not only that, we've taken the time to go through and break down each of these recipes into all the different nutritional components of it. So if you really want to get granular with your diet, all that information is right here for you. All right, so we've really just scratched the surface on all the cool things that IQYOU does for you. I consider it to be my secret weapon to help me keep track of my health. You can enter things like your sleep, your stress, your family history. You can enter your blood work, any kind of laboratory tests. You can enter your DNA. And behind the scenes, it's putting all those things together. It's combining all of them to make one cohesive blueprint that's just for you. And as you get older, as you age, this tool stays with you. You can come back in here to your health questions and update them, for example, once a year or once every 3 months. Your health score will be updated and your recommendations will change too. As you implement some of these things, like let's say I've just decided to quit smoking, I'll come here, I'll click Next Steps, add that as a goal, and now that works towards improving my health score as well. I can simply come in here and say I am 100% done with that goal. So there we go. Give IQYOU a try, see what it can do for you. We'd love to see your success with it, and our goal is to help everyone maintain a happy and healthy life. Thanks.